this one smells like... That one smells good. Hi y'all, and welcome back to the beauty related side of my channel. And today we are doing a review that is probably one of the ones that I am the most excited about doing. If y'all know, Lunar Beauty is one of my favorite end all be all brands. I have liked 99.99999% of the stuff I have tried from them. They are a disgustingly consistent brand. They have burp squad. They've got a fantastic aesthetic. I've really enjoyed the quality of their stuff. It's just been a good time had all around since that first Life's a Drag palette. And y'all certainly know that when this particular collection dropped, there was a part of me that was just like, it's beautiful, it's simple, it's classic, it's got another freaking blush palette in, and you know how I felt about the first one. If he were to come out with 1,000 more blush palettes, or were to decide I'm gonna have 1,000 shades of single blushes, I would be all over that shiz. And I mean, it's just so stinking pretty. And knowing what you know about Manny MUA, about being all about Sailor Moon and all about that kind of thing, it just lends itself to a very artistically well thought aesthetic. I love the slightly hollow bit going on here. Just absolutely gorgeous aesthetic and packaging. Now, opening it up, this here is the Nude Prism palette going on right here. Fairly simple, fairly chill. It is what I am wearing on my illustrious nude peepers today. I was real simple. We did milk tea all up in this area right here, and then we took Bloom for You and did that all in the outer crease. And then I took Laura right here and did that all on my lid. So pretty simple, nothing that I would consider groundbreaking. Y'all know that your girl doesn't typically skew and do a neutral nudie eye. Like neutral for me is like grungy mustard and greens and that sort of thing. Whereas this here just kind of skews itself to a just natural, normal, neutral palette. Although if y'all did see in my talking about palettes that I would like choosing one palette out of a certain brand, what I would get rid of, there was a big old ColourPop one that was like nude and neutrals, and I mentioned in that I wanted to review this, and if the quality was what I expect from this, this would probably end up being the nude palette that I would keep, and the ColourPop would have to go. And spoiler alert, that is the conclusion we have come to. So this is the nude palette we are keeping. ColourPop is going bye-bye. Here is the Nude Prism blush. Just as beautiful as the first one. Y'all know his blush formula, his highlighter formula are some of my absolute favorites. The shade that I use today is this Pink Prince right here, which is, I had to get rid of a blush from, I think, City Color, which was a brand I either got at the dollar store or Five Below, one of those places, and it was Blackberry, and it was this really soft, cool toned purpley pink. So having this shade here, I saw that and I was like, that looks awfully similar, because I love that Blackberry blush, but I couldn't hold on to it because it was freaking old. But now I have this shade here, and that makes me very happy. And I was also using his highlighters today. A whole Lunar Beauty face-off. And then with this collection, there was also these lip oils, which since starting to do my makeup like this with like my natural hair and everything like that, and not the wig and everything, I have been enjoying a barer lip glossy lip. I have got this one here that is Dare Me, which is just a really pretty pinky glossy prettiness. But enough of doing all of that. Let's go in. We got a lot of shit to swatch going all up in here, so let's just get right on into the swatching and let you know how I feel about the collection on a whole. So we're gonna start with the Nude Prism palette going on here. Instead of going whoop, 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 I'm gonna go down this row of mattes and then the row of shimmers and then this row of mattes. So we're gonna start with Bare, which is kind of going on that light, pissy sort of, maybe could be there, maybe not there. Then we have Cherry Blossom here, which we're getting a bit more depth, still very light and delicate. Then I'm Shy right here, which just makes me think of that Ashniko I'm so shy going on. Here we have this there. You know, it's kind of light and it's kind of pasty, getting a little bit more depth there, and then there. I do like this. It's kind of like Your Skin, but better, kind of like a peachy something something. Then we have Vibes right here, which I love his mattes. Y'all know this. I have a very big love relationship with his brand. Y'all know. We've got Apricot right here, which is love that shade right here. And then Sakura right here, which is heckin' pigmented. Right here, here, and here. I absolutely love this trio of shades right here. Just this beautiful sort of sunburnt peachy tangerine-ness. Now we're gonna go into these shimmers. Now these shimmers are so fun to look at. You see them and they've got the base, and then they've got like, this one's got like a hint of green and gold and pink. This one's got like silver in it. This one's got pink in it. They've got these really nice sort of multi-dimensional sparkle, twinkle reflections going on. So we're going to start with So Icy right here. They feel really nice. They're almost, I want to say they're almost like a ColourPop Super Shock sort of situation, which y'all know I'm typically not a fan of. I'm not a bouncy, creamy, textured, formula-loving person. And then we have your Golden, which is definitely one of my favorites right there. And then Laura, which is the one that I put on my lids today. Let's see, we've got this here. Ooh, pretty. And there. And there. Absolutely love. Camera's not doing these justice. See how they've got the shimmer, but they've also got that little hints of sparkle and twinkle and a multi-dimensional finish. Then next up we have Sam right here, and then Expose, which is probably my other favorite shimmer in the palette, and then Starcross, which is also, it's like this bronzy green. It doesn't really do it justice on camera like 99% of the shadows I review on here. But we're just gonna have them right here, here, and here. I absolutely love, I mean, just all of them are absolutely stunning. I have used these three as like kind of lip toppers going on if I want to add a little bit of depth and dimension to a lip look that I'm doing. They work very nicely with that. I would definitely say that in consistency wise and formula wise, they are a lot like those ColourPop single shades where they're very like almost kind of that like soft, not gel. For anyone who knows the ColourPop eyeshadows, those single ones, y'all know what I'm talking about. But where it's like almost that cream, or like a cream to powder or a powder to cream. They are not a typical shimmer formula, so I find using a more densely packed, smaller brush to kind of pick them up and then smooth them across your lid works better than something that's going to be more fluffy. Then let's finish with this row of mattes here. We have Milk Tea, which is kind of like a version of the Anastasia Beverly Hills Buon Fresco that they were putting in every other palette for a while there. Then we have Tease right here, which is this really pretty orangey, terracotta-y brown. If I could have a lipstick that color, I would die happy. Then Classic right here, which is just a nice classic brown, as the name would suggest. And here we have that one. As much as I love that shade, it definitely takes a fair amount to build it up. It doesn't get chalky or clumpy or nasty as you build it up, but it's definitely one that you're not going to get a lot of coverage with like just one dip as compared to like a shade like this, which you do have to tread a bit more carefully. This one, you have a lot of leeway and an opportunity to blend it out and blend it up, whereas these, you tread a little more carefully. They're not Melt Cosmetics heckin' pigmented, but they're really nice formula to use. Then last but not least, we have Bloom For You, which is another heckin' pigmented. It has a bit of fallout. I don't know if any of y'all know, but the way that I like to do my makeup, which is apparently not the way that most people like to do their makeup, I take my brush and I kind of tap it in there, and I kind of create that little bit of fallout going on there in the pan, and then I like to pick that up. I'm not sure if that's how anyone else does anything, but it's how I do it, and I find that that works pretty well. It does have a little bit of fallout, so definitely keep that in mind. And then we have Moody right here, which is again a nice perfect brown shade. I will say Moody and Milk Tea have the same sort of consistency, where they're a bit harder pressed and you kind of have to work a bit more with your brush to get a certain amount of pigment off. And then Deeper right here, which is a very, very nice black. Got this going on here. Beautiful. Love that color. It's very Melt Cosmetics, She's in Parties kind of situation. And then we've got this one right here, beautiful, nice and smooth. And then the black, which is a very, very nice black formulation to work with. So here we have the shades. I mean, all in all, I can't really complain about anything. This one is kind of that, like I said, a little bit of a pissy kind of blending out setting shade. Y'all know how I feel about that kind of thing. And then we get a nice decent level of gradation. You're not going to be able to see as well, but all the shimmers are truly, truly gorgeous. Some standout shades. I do just love all of these ones right here. That really nice peachy apricot-y color scheme. And then over here, again, I like the orange and the brown and those kind of like warm autumnal shades, I feel, that make it a little bit better than just like a brown, tan, and taupe sort of nude palette. You've got enough opportunity and shade variety to give yourself something very nice and smoky, something very nice and neutral. If you want to go a bit more glam, for a neutral palette, it does have a lot going for it in the color range and what you can do with it. And now we obviously have to talk the blush palette. Y'all know when he came out with his first one, I didn't buy it for like, when I first saw it, I was like, you know, I don't really need another blush palette. It was just like I think he did the blush palette and he did like a face brush bundle expansion of his brushes. That's one of the only things that I've tried by him that I'm not a huge fan of, and I think that's partly because they're more akin to like a Morphe style brush, which y'all know I'm not a fan of those either. But the blush palette was absolutely gorgeous and stunning. I still rave about it. I still love it. So when he was like, I'm gonna release another one, I was just saying, fuck me up. And it's just such a nice, I love this shade. I love. Is that suited to my complexion? Probably not. Am I gonna plaster that shit all over my face anyway? Probably yes. Here is the original blush palette, which is a tried and true for me. It's just got all of these like soft, earthy pinks and oranges. I love this like shimmery whateverness. You can top it over any of these shades in here and it looks absolutely stunning. I think he has a good amount of difference going on in both of the palettes. You know, there certainly is some sameness to it. I definitely would think that this one over here is like more of a cool toned palette. I do like the whoops. I do like the inclusion of the hot pink right here, as well as the deeper one, because this one is kind of the same, but this one is more pinky and less purpley. Again, I think working with these both together, I think it's a nice collection of shades that are going to give you anything that's a bit more feminine, a bit more out there, and then a lot of options for a softer, subtler hue of blush. So just going on in, I'm going to swatch this side. This one here is peachy. I really like his formula because it has a nice of pigment, It has a nice amount of pigment, but it's not something that you're gonna kick up. I like to be very, very controlled in the amount of makeup that I apply and where I apply it to. So I appreciate something that's firmly enough pressed to where I'm getting a nice amount of pigment, but there's not powder going everywhere. Like I said, I like to control where I put my makeup. And then Pink Prince right here. This is a formula that you're going to build up more. This is a very beginner friendly formula, I find, because if you go in there, you're not going to get a huge amount. It's not like a Melt Cosmetics blush or those Cover FX ones. You can just, like I said, very friendly beginner blush formula. And then Kawaii right here, which, I mean, he's got to have props for the aesthetic. Just so pretty. Oh my goodness. I love that one so freaking much. It's just absolutely beautiful. Then these shades right here, Zay right here, which is, I don't know what it is, but I really like that shade. Then we've got Beauty, which is again another beautiful shade, and Blaze, which just F's me up on all other levels. These ones going on right there. Doesn't look like much in the swatch, but on the skin, that just fuck me up. Just absolutely fuck me up. And then this one, which again, absolutely, I actually really like kind of doing a combined blush look with these two right here, because it gives a little bit of, keeps it kind of chill and whatever, but you had a pop of this right on the app. Beautiful, absolutely stunning. Absolutely cannot get enough of these shades. If he were to release like a blush palette every year, I would go all like Tarte blush book every year and buy them. I just absolutely adore his formula. It's easy to work with, and I like the color spectrum he's given us. It makes me excited to use blush. I look at it and it brings me joy and it makes me inspired. Then last but not least, we have these lip oils. Y'all know that his gloss and his liquid lipstick formula, again, two of my absolute favorite formulas on the market. And so when he released a new fancy whatever lip product, and the fact that I've been enjoying a less liquid lipstick using a makeup look, I was like, this is going right where I want it to. Now, I know they're scented on the side. It's like, this one smells like, that one smells good. But on the side, it's like, this one smells like peach, and this one smells like watermelon, and I'm not sure which is which. They do smell awfully, awfully delicious. But we'll start off with this one, which is Expose Me, which is just a straight up clear glossy gloss going on, which, like I said, I am enjoying that kind of a lip look going on, so I'm actually really digging that, just to like throw on when you go out the house and you want to look a little bit more put together than chapstick. Then Kiss Me, which is like a it looks pink, but I don't think that they really give, you know, that much of a difference in color. I mean, you can This one is Dare Me, which is a colored one as well, which again, kind of second story, same as the first. I mean, I guess. I mean, not gonna lie, look at them. I'm on my hand. I'm like, they all look. There might. Is it me? Am I going? I mean, maybe there might be just the slightest little hint of something on these two, but kind of not really. I'd started off with this one on my lips, the Dare Me, which is like kind of pinky, and then I put this one, which is just this clear one, and it looks the same. It looks nice, but it looks the same. But even though they look the same, I really like this formula. I have not, for all y'all who've been with me for an extended period of time, you know I am not typically a gloss wearing person, partly because for an extended period of time, all I wore were wigs. long-haired wigs or any kind of wigs and lip gloss do not make a good match. Because you got the gloss and you got the hair and it's all in the gloss and it's all into everything, and it's just, it is not an attractive, fun time. But now that I am embracing my natural hair and doing makeup with just this way, I'm really loving a more simple lip look. I would say if buying these, don't do all three unless you're like super invested in having the different scents. I don't find that they do anything different color-wise, quote unquote, on the lips. The formula is really nice. If you like his lip gloss formula, you're gonna like this. It's not thick, it's not goopy. It has a nice amount of stay and wear on it. It doesn't get all nasty and gunky when you layer it a couple of times, and I think it looks really attractive on the lips. Just something to give you a little zhuzh, a little kick up, make your lips look a little bit special. But like I said, would not get all of them unless, again, you care about the scent. I find that they basically do with the same thing, and the shot of color that you see in these doesn't actually do anything, and it's mostly for aesthetic. Then we might as well start with the easiest. I love this. You probably could tell even just with the swatching. The majority of his products and his face products, I remember the first time I used his, with the Medusa collection, that highlighter palette, still one of my favorite highlighter palettes. It's like, what? Whew. Because it literally, that formula smooths onto your skin and gives it the most glass-like, flawless effect that I've ever had with a lot of different highlighters I've tried. And y'all know I've tried a fuck ton of highlighters. And his face product formulas are just so good. Like I said, he has a very good beginner-friendly formula where you've got a nice amount of pigment, but it's not so pigmented that you can't build it up. You're not going to have to worry about just like touching it once and then being like, oh my goodness, there's a splotch right here and I'll never be able to blend it out. You can start it off real nice and subtle or build it up. It looks really good on the skin. Over foundation on bare skin like I'm wearing like this. Add a touch of like that Jeffree Star Morphe Dewy Setting Mist and you are fresh faced and ready to go. Highly recommend his blush palettes. This one and the other one. I'm pretty sure they're both available. I will leave both of them linked down below. And lastly, the palette, which, I mean, I expect good things from his stuff, just straight up. He is a company that I am invested in the quality and everything like that going in on his products. If I get something that I don't like, it's been personal preference and color story. Never had an issue with the quality, and if I have, it's been minimal. This is a really nice, simple, basic palette that I think offers a nice amount of variation. Part of the reason I'm decluttering those ColourPop palettes now compared to this one is it has a lot of the shades that I would want to go for in those massive ColourPop palettes, but it's pared down. It's cut out a lot of the middleman. It's cut out a lot of the unnecessary fluff, any, color overlap. It's given me a more concise color story so that I can zero in, like I said, a specific way I like to do my makeup, and that's how I like to do it. We go from light to dark. I like the simple gradation, and this gives us that simple gradation in a nice, consistent, quality formula. The shimmers, even though they're similar, for any of you who've tried this and have tried the ColourPop single shadows, definitely let me know. But even though they are similar to the ColourPop shades, I find that these are a bit easier to manipulate. They're not shimmers that you're going to experience a large amount of fallout with. I do recommend using a stiffer, denser shadow brush to pick this up and really just kind of smooth it along. If you have any of those tools that are kind of like the silicone or rubber pickup, those work really well for this. But all in all, it's just a really nice palette. If you're looking for a good quality neutral palette that's got a nice amount of gradation where you can do something more soft and romantic, then if you want to get a bit more grungy, and then if you want to smoke it out and have a little bit more of an intense look, I think you're going to be able to achieve that with this palette. Regardless of how rudimentary or simple or nude and basic and classic as this color story may be, the quality is one of the things that I really stand by with his products. He doesn't seem to cut a lot of corners or do things like that, and has had a very good quality control throughout the history of his brand. And that is something that I can 110% stand behind, regardless of the color story, no matter how basic it might be. So all in all, if these are colors that you're drawn toward, if this is a collection you've been interested in getting, I know several of y'all, when I mentioned, I was like, oh, this is one of the reviews I did, they're like, please review it. It's very good, review it. So like I said, if you're looking for palettes of this color, this, if you love blush, get this. It's basically just a given at this point. If he releases a face product, get it. Oh, that's the only thing I didn't get was his like contour palette, because I don't do that. I don't bronze. I don't contour. It is not a thing that has ever been a thing within my makeup, whatever. But his blush palettes are just so stinking pretty, and I wish he'd come out with another highlighter palette that I don't need, that I'd want to buy. And then again, just a really nice, neutral, straightforward palette. I'm actually thinking about getting, picking this one up for my girlfriend's mother for Christmas, because she likes makeup, which is all absolutely wonderful, fantastic things for me. And she's also within the makeup knownness and stuff like that. She knows what she's talking about. She's in the beautyverse sphere. And I think this would be a palette that she would really enjoy the simple but very nice color selection of. She's got the ColourPop Stone Cold Fox, as well as another one. So she knows what's up. So in a long story short, quality wise, this is a collection I absolutely stand by. Love, love, love the blush palette. You're probably going to see that in my July favorites. No, my August favorites, because this will be coming out after my July favorites. If you've been thinking about getting this, if you've been thinking about getting into his brand, I feel like this is a nice place to start. They're good, solid products that honestly just aren't going to steer you wrong. He's just got the market cornered on just good quality products, just an aesthetic and everything. I just really, really love this brand, and this whole collection, lip oils, eyeshadow palette, blush palette, is no exception to my love for it. Oh, I was so excited to do that review. I'd love to know what you all have to say down below. If a lot of y'all have gotten it, a lot of my viewers do enjoy Manny MUA's products. It's a little bit comedic, because in the beginning of my channel, it's like, Manny MUA's stupid. But I absolutely love his products. Like I said, would love to hear if you've tried it down below, if you're interested in trying it, or just something else that you've been loving. I love hearing all the shit y'all have going through your own beautyverse journey. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and as always, keep it real. Mwah!